friends, welcome back. I'm Sarah, vegan ukulele. Today I'm really excited because we got our first share of our CSA. It's a community shared agriculture, so every 2 weeks we're going to get a box of fresh, local, organic veggies from a farm that they bring them into the city. I'm just really excited about this because it's a wonderful world and it's a wonderful time of year. It's great to have access to these fresh local delicacies. So the inspiration for tonight's meal, these are ramps. So they're a type of wild leeks that grow in forests in Ontario at this time of year only. I remember years ago I lived on a farm and we had some woods there and they'd grow amongst the trilliums. So you'd see these beautiful flowers and then that's how you knew where to look for the ramps. Now I'm in the city, so it's really delightful to even have a small bunch of these. And a way to help make a small bunch go farther is I'm going to make a pesto with them. So just to start my pesto, I'm using walnuts as the nuts for this. You could use any nuts, but these have a nice strong flavor. So about a rough third of a cup. I like my pesto nutty. I'm just going to give those a toast in a dry pan. I'm going to keep an eye on them, because walnuts taste lovely toasted, but they go from toasted to burnt in like 3 seconds. So do keep an eye on them. This isn't the time to multitask. They're just on a medium-low flame. I'm stirring them from time to time. So the walnuts have taken on just a little toasty color. They're smelling nice and aromatic. I'm going to go ahead and pop them into my blender jar. I want to get them off the heat right away so they can start cooling down while I go get my ramps ready for the pesto. So I've just rinsed my ramps off and taken the small outer layer off of them, and I'm going to trim off the very root end, but other than that the whole thing is edible, so you don't want to waste any of that. I'm going to saute it a little bit before I put it in the blender with the walnuts. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil to my pan, just a smidge. We'll put some more in with the pesto and give it the flavor. And so this is just like a rough chop because they're going to get more pureed in when we do the blending. Pop them in there and let them cook for a few minutes just to soften up. You know, they're related to onions and garlic. They're in the allium family. They're a little bit pungent when they're raw, so we're just going to cook them for a couple minutes. So that ought to do it. The greens are nicely wilted and the whites are almost translucent, not even quite. I'm just going to go ahead and pop those in the blender. For our seasoning in this, we're going to keep it really simple to let the flavor of the ramp shine through. We're going to use plenty of salt though, and black pepper, and a generous pinch of nutritional yeast, maybe a generous pinch and a half. We're going to want some lemon juice in there. I was soaking it in hot water. That's one of my tricks to help release the juice of an underripe lemon. So you soak it for a few minutes in hot water. And the other one is to give it a good squeeze, either with your hands or on your work surface. Pressure to start releasing the juices inside. And in it goes. And just a little more olive oil. And that's about it for our pesto. If I had a smaller blender, I would use it. It's a little bit small of a batch for this blender, but I'm so grateful to have this blender. So we'll just do the best we can. I may have to just poke it down with my rubber spatula. All right, let's give it a whirl. So that's coming together pretty wonderfully. I did add just a little more water to help it puree. And like, I don't mind if there's still little bits in there. Kind of a chunkier style is happy for me. Did you know the word pesto comes from the same root as pestle, like a mortar and pestle? So that wouldn't get things perfectly, totally smooth necessarily either, and I'm good with a kind of a rustic style. So that's done. I'm going to get on to my other elements. I'm going to let that hang out, and the flavors are just going to mellow together as it sits. The other exciting ingredient that I got from the CSA, big shout out to Wheelbarrow Farms, is these lovely mushrooms. I'm pretty excited about them. A little tip for your mushrooms, I don't want to get them wet and soggy by washing them. If there's any dirt visible, I'll just wipe it off with a paper towel. So I'm just trimming the woody ends off of these stems. So we're using a brown rice pasta. It happens to be gluten-free. And I prefer it to whole wheat pasta. We try not to have too much white grain stuff because my partner John is post-diabetic, thank God. So this is a more fiber-rich alternative. Just pop those in with the ducking. A little olive oil in there. Pan's hot, oil's hot, in go the shrooms. I'm excited. So the mushrooms are basically done. They don't take very long. So I'm going to turn off the flame on them. I'm just going to add a big handful of fresh spinach, also from the good folks at Wheelbarrow Farm. I'm going to toss a lid on there just to get the spinach wilted over the mushrooms while the pasta finishes cooking. And I like to sing to my pasta while it cooks. Don't forget to stir. I see spinach of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Let's check on these nudes, man. The brown rice pasta cooks in about the same time as regular wheat pasta, about 8 to 10 minutes. So just pulled one out, gonna check for doneness. You can use whatever pasta you have, what you like. This would be awesome with fresh pasta, not gonna lie. Alright, so that's done, so I'm just gonna drain them off. So I've drained off my pasta. Throw it back into the hot pot. And get the pesto in there. With my rubber spatula. Isn't it wonderful to have live music when you're cooking? Set the mood. I'm just going to use a tiny bit of the pasta water to help rinse out the blender here. Help get all that good stuff in here and help make a creamy sauce. See how nice and creamy that pesto came? So our spinach has wilted nicely. Just gonna make a little room and top this off with our spinach and mushrooms. So there it is, friends. A wild leek pesto, mushrooms and wilted spinach on brown rice pasta.
Oyster mushrooms fresh from the farm? Oh my god.
Thanks, friends. If you liked this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe and hit notifications. Let me know in the comments if you tried it, if you did something like it, some variations. Feel free to make it your own. Peace.